Welcome back to the Netherlands.
Thank you.
An amazing Friday night. How are you feeling today?
Yeah, I feel good. I feel ready for the gig tonight, and it's a big honor to be playing this, and hopefully we'll see what happens.
And how's everything going, like in terms of health? Because I saw you at the doing the supportive metronomy at the Melkweg, and then you mentioned that you had some issues with your throat, or what was going on?
I wasn't very well. I've been on the road for a long time now. It felt like a whole year, really. It was just that I'd managed to fight off a cold the whole year, and then that was the time that the cold hit, and it was just it was so bad. I just felt really, really sick. But that gig was really fun, and it kind of helped me get out of that kind of like depressed, ill state. I feel much better now.
I also like that the audience was like, you mentioned them like, oh, could you sing along and give me some more? And they were excited as well. So things are great, right?
Yeah, I think sometimes being honest with the audience is it's quite endearing for them to sort of see that, she's all by herself and there's nothing to hide. So I think sometimes just being a little bit like, I'm ill, but I'm gonna fight for you. I'm gonna make this a show for you, even though I'm ill. So, and luckily they were totally on my side. So it was a really good show.
Yeah, is that maybe like one of your most important lessons of this year, because you are on the stage all by yourself? That's hard work, right?
Well, yeah, it is and it isn't. I sort of really enjoy it, and it was totally intentional to present the music in this way. The music's very inspired by kind of DJs and the whole kind of Chicago house scene and Detroit techno scene of the 80s, and I play an 80s piece of equipment, and it feels right for me to do it by myself. I'm kind of presenting an experience for the audience, not just for them to come and see a sort of a band or something. I want them to feel something on that dance floor, like euphoria, or I want to take them through this journey, and I want to be working on that stage. I don't want to be thinking about my dinner or thinking about I just want to feel like I'm in it with them. And so it feels right that it's just me. And I think presenting just this raw form, it's kind of been really endearing for audiences, and it's just helped the growth of the whole thing, really. And I don't mind that it's hard work. I'm a hard worker. I work in the studio non-stop, and I've really enjoyed this year, just kind of being in my own headspace and really noticing, the crowd, and I really enjoy it.
And you mentioned like DJ sets and Chicago as inspirations, but what kind of dance floors in like maybe your own experiences with clubbing, etc., have been inspiring for you?
Well, I've been clubbing since I was a very little girl. My father is in a dance band, so I grew up around the whole 90s UK rave movement, and I was born amongst bass drums and synthesizers, and my mum would take me to see left field concerts when I was 6 years old, and I'd just see thousands of people going like boop, boop, hands in the air, just like, and I'd always be fascinated by it, like what is this, and then that fascination kind of lived with me throughout my teens. And so when I hit 18 and I went to my first club, I was kind of like, I felt like I was home. It didn't feel unfamiliar to me. It felt very like, I can relax here, I can be myself. And I think that's the power of that form of music and the dance floor, and it means so much to people, and it is the only space where people can truly be free and safe. And so I don't know, it's something within me, I think.
Do you even have time, like when you're on tour and going through the entire Europe, like in cities, to go to clubs, or?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no, I mean, I have my friends who, like, for instance, this whole year I've just gone to every show that the Black Madonna's done. Maria's she's like my sister, but I'll go to like parties where I know the DJs are, amazing, and I'll make time. Yeah, it's all part of, who I am, really.
And now in 1 month, the record is coming. Yeah. Are you excited? Yeah. Nervous?
I am a bit everything, really. It's kind of nerve-wracking. It's exciting. I just hope people hear it, to be honest with you.
How did everything got together for this record? Because as you mentioned, this year, also for me, it seems like you were everywhere. Every day of the year, Georgia was playing a gig, and you've mentioned being in a studio. How did you manage to get this record together?
Well, this record was really the whole process started about 3 years ago, maybe even more than that, 4 years ago. And it's really been the makings of that time, really. And it's only been the last year, really, that I've played live. Before that, I was just in the studio. I had this routine. I got up at 7 a.m., hit the swimming pool, did my lengths, then went to the studio for 9 a.m, worked until 7 p.m, then went to bed and started the whole routine again for about a year and a half. So it was very much like, it's like periods of time, this record. So it's only been this year that it's been like boom, boom, but I haven't had time to do anything. But I still, I have my home studio in London, and so I pretty much, when I get back, I'm in the studio.
So it almost sounds like office hours, like setting your alarm, going to the studio. Are you always that inspired to work on things, to create new things?
Yeah, but sometimes it's not about being inspired. Sometimes it is just like an office job. You're going in and you're doing what you need to do that day. The studio is, of course, like meant to be a super inspiring place, but for me, I have my moments of inspiration and creation, and then I have to turn those creations into a song and turn that into a finished thing that you hear. So for me, I go through this whole process, really, of the development of the song. So sometimes, a lot of the time, I'll go into the studio having already done the kind of creating bit, and I'm forming it into what you're hearing. So, and that takes a lot of work. And actually, it's the days when you don't feel inspired, where you have to go and work, that are actually, in some ways, the most rewarding, because you come out at the end of it and you go, thank God I've done it, move on.
Crafting and crafting, and for the gig tonight, because you're playing at the Song van het Jaar festival here in Tivoli, it feels a bit like a kind of Dutch New Year's Eve party. I know it's a little bit soon, it's not even Christmas, but like all the good bands are around. We have Sports Team, the Murder Capital, but also a lot of great Dutch acts. Do you maybe remember a specific gig that you played or that you saw this year that was one of your favorites of 2019?
Yeah, well, I have to say it was definitely seeing the Black Madonna DJ her party, We Still Believe. And it was held in this amazing venue in London called the Walthamstow Assembly Hall, which was actually designed, I think, for Pavarotti. So the hall just had this incredible acoustics, and Maria put on this unbelievable party. It was like stepping into like the best, most inclusive, free environment to just dance and have a great time and kind of watch her in her element. And I have to say, it sort of blew my mind, and it kind of put a load of what I was trying to explore in my songs into perspective and into this kind of like story. And it's down to her, really, that I feel like that inspired by all of it. And it really was the best gig I think I've been to for years. And there were all these dancers that came on stage with her, and it was just amazing. People from all ages dancing on the dance floor of all backgrounds. It was fantastic.
Was it an all-nighter, and did you manage to stay until the morning?
Yeah, it was an all-nighter. I think it went from about 10 or 11 to, about 4. Yeah, and it was a great great party. It was fantastic, and I think it was a gig, so I'm going to say that.
Nice.
Black Madonna, We Still Believe.
Nice. Thank you very much for your time. Enjoy the gig tonight, and looking forward to your record. So thanks a lot.